Hey, what's up, guys? Today's trades were two short positions on MNQ, and we have trade number one. Right here, we have trade number two on a separate account, but both followed the same system, both trend following system, and I'm going to get into that again. Here we have the three-step process that I've outlined before. So step one, liquidity grab. As you can see, during the New York Open, we immediately grabbed London low. Price went and continued past it, grabbing Asia low. So the thing about liquidity is that these are two significant levels. And if we're going to see some type of reversal, it'll be pretty obvious because you'll see a displacive bounce, creating a higher high, and then continuation. Because usually price is quite directional when you grab a lot of liquidity like these two levels. So if it's not going to have that reversal pattern, then you can assume that the trend of the downside is going to be stronger. We had this bounce after Asia grab, and instead of creating a higher high and continuing, we got the opposite. We got the bounce and then further downside, right? And that was after seeing both LQ levels grab. So if you look at just this market structure alone, it's pretty bearish, right? So step one, LQ grab, done with London low. Step two, we have an established trend, check. Now we need step three, which is an entry model. And I took two different trades, but both the same entry model. Bearish fair value gap, right? We were open to price inversing it and then invalidating the inversion, or doing what it did today, which was a rebalance and then closing in the bearish direction, supporting the prevailing trend. So that was our reason for entry there. Although we had draw levels down here, different targets, our system thrives with a 2R, so we simply took at a 2R. Now let's move on to the next trade. So if you remember, this was the first gap we traded. So now we have a second gap over here. Price again drew into it. This time it inversed it. But then right at 10:09, we got the invalidation of the inversion. So technically, this was confirmation for entry right here. I ended up entering a little earlier just because the trend looked strong enough to me, and I thought it was a high probability that we would get this invalidation anyway. Also, I was okay with losing this 1R. I accepted it pre-trade, so before the trade I had it already mentally accepted, and that helped me anticipate the entry and hold for our next 2R trade. Again, we have these draw levels because we don't know how far the trend is going to go when it does trend, but for me and the system that I've been showing, it thrives with a 2R over time. It compounds well. And it's nice to see though that our system, even though it's designed to catch the short-term trend, many times it turns into the longer-term trend. You know, there was more setups like this entry right here as well, if you were the one that missed these first two. But anyway, I hope that makes sense, guys. Liquidity grab, established trend, you place your bets with the trend. All right, peace out, guys.